if you want to just
Pass.
talk.
No, let's talk. It's all good.
Okay.
Let's
You know
shoot
what?
the
Probably a
S.
good way to ask people too if you sound. It's weird because you always sound perfect to me, but people always say the person talking on Discord's quiet. Now I end up having to jack them up. I don't know why, because my volume's at like 100% for outside audio.
I don't know. Let's go live. See what people say, and if I'm quiet, you can shoot me
Let's
up on
see.
Discord.
Let me know if audio is good. Okay. I can repeat that if anyone's. So pretty much it's everybody waiting on Australia, but hey, they are quite far away, so
I've heard that.
I assume Pat's promoted. Yep. I don't know that promoting you matters, and
No, don't worry about me.
I'll
Yeah, it says
promote
only
I'll
booking
promote
in.
Wargaming so he can do something if he wants to.
Yep. Let me know when we've gone live. Are we live already?
We are up, yeah. I mean, granted, I
Cool.
put
Well,
my little blocker thing on, so nobody's watching really, but they can hear us.
okay. Well, if you're listening to us, then welcome.
Yeah, I should probably promote a little bit more. I hate to spam like random chat. Right. Pat says he's in Discord with his opponent. That's a good start.
No, that's good. So
Let's
move
see.
Travis around.
Make it. I
So we're just waiting on Travis. That's good. Pat's loading up his roster by the looks of it. So, in case you're not aware, this is the second top four game of the Xavier Protocols Invitational. This is a little tournament I arranged to test out the Battle Realms format to see if it's a viable competitive format or what we think of it, and just give some more data was the whole point of it. I invited 8 of the players who had the best records in TTS in the previous seasons, and seeded them, and then put them through a seeded tournament. So we've got through to our number 2 seed, Pat Dunford, season 2 and season 4 champion, against our number 3 seed, Travis Foss from Australia, who was in the final of season 4 and has, I think he made the cut every season except season 1 when only one Australian player made the cut, who was Morgan Reed, who's our number 1 seed. So these are both really good players. Travis is really well known for his aggressive play style, I think is the best way to characterize him. He likes to play uh, relying on dice. Let's put it that way. So he finds his dice tends to go for him. 14 favors the bold and all that. But his play style, he likes to do things where he's like, this probably won't happen, but I'll try it anyway. Going for things where maybe I'd be a little bit, oh, hang on, you're doing that. He takes those bolder plays and is a very exciting player to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. Pat, however, is kind of the most conservative player. Now that doesn't mean he doesn't do bold plays, but it means that he only does them kind of when he has to. He always plays the odds, and he tends to hang back a bit. And he'd rather the game went for an extra turn and see how it goes, unless he's got a play which has got decent chance of succeeding to win the game this turn. He's very good at assessing those situations and will take those plays. But I'm expecting to see exciting plays from Travis and optimal maybe is too strong a word, but optimal plays from Pat, where he's looking and going for things slow and steady rather than hitting the gas. Travis is definitely all on the gas. Looking at their rosters, Splish, don't know if you can zoom in for the audience on Pat's roster, but he's gone for sort of a triple affiliation. He's got Black Panther as the Wakanda leader, he's got She-Hulk as the A-Force leader, and he's got Thor as the Asgard leader. And technically, he can run X-Men as well. He's got Storm, Beast, and Taskmaster. So it's not super likely that that's going to happen, but it is a possibility. I expect him to be leaning on one of those other three, though. Depending on the crisis, we'll see which way he goes. But we know that Travis is pretty much playing a mono Wakanda roster. He's Very, very likely to be picking Black Panther as his first pick. In fact, so that's just he's just getting his roster out now.
Yeah, Travis did join the game, so I'm gonna take this little wall off here and get to
Cool.
start.
Okay, so hopefully you've got visuals now. Let us know if the audio is not up to scratch, guys. If one of us is too loud or too quiet, let us know. We can adjust that.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, please, guys. If you can't hear one of us, let us know immediately. Let's see. Oh, wow. Greetings from Germany. Hell yeah. Uh,
Ah,
oh, and they really enjoy our podcast too. Very nice.
fantastic. Thank you, guys. That's always great to hear. Dank. Und es ist ein bisschen spät in Deutschland, glaube ich, aber willkommen.
Yeah, Germany's on my bucket list to go to there. I've been to France and the United Kingdom, but Germany's definitely next. Back when I was really into X-Wing, they had some huge events in Poland and Germany, so I thought that'd be really cool to be involved in. But
Yeah, I spent some very pleasant time in Köln, drinking Kölsch. Very enjoyable. Good bit of Yapfel Kölsch. Their accent kind of threw me. They have this weird accent in Cologne where all of their G's they say is J's. So instead of saying das ist gut, they say das ist gut. And that really threw me. But I got used to it in the end. Ah, and hello from Denmark. Again, another Danish podcast listener. So thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the most recent one we put out. That was a lot of fun. We got Nate Ghost Deer from Alfredo's Taco Truck. So if you haven't heard that, give that a listen. We go through all the affiliations and talk about rating their floors and their ceilings.
oh, hold up. Did they start? I see two characters missing from, is that Travis?
We're into a wave. Why would there be two missing? That feels like he's got his roster wrong. They haven't linked the rosters yet. No, it
Yeah,
looks like his roster.
there's some finger movement, which makes you think. Nothing in chat, right? Yeah, no. I figure if there was a problem, they would let us know.
Looks like he needs to just reload his roster or like redo his roster. Feels
You
like
can you can
okay.
quickly edit and add.
Yeah,
Um,
Pat's like going, hey, you're missing two characters here. Where are those two characters? So I think they're going to fix that. But yeah, I'm fully expecting Travis to first pick Black Panther, irrespective of the crisis combination. And I think Pat's got way more options. Having said that, I mean, Travis does love his Wakanda, so we'll see how he goes with that. Uh, yeah, I don't think he's got any other leaders that are viable. He's got Storm in there, but I think Storm is the fourth or fifth Wakandan, depending on the crisis.
yeah.
Um, so I don't think he's running any of the other X Men. I don't think he's not even running Taskmaster, who's decent in Wakanda. If you needed to fill out an affiliation, maybe if you needed to go six wide, I can see Pat maybe opting if he gets priority, opting for a higher threat value just to put all more pressure and so that Travis has to choose for Wakandans. Can often happen with Wakanda because you're often going to end up with a Koye or Shuri. You're going to get one of them in this format, and looking at the others, just filling a wider roster, a high threat level can be difficult for them. So look at Pat's crises. But if we get a 19, seems like kind of the highest he's got, and then he bans some of the crises. Although Travis has got a 20 in his, he's got the Terrigen Mists. So I can see maybe a 20 happening. It appeared to have linked rosters now, but it looks like Travis has still got two cards missing from his roster. So I wonder if they're going to just reset that and get that going again.
Yeah, unfortunately, the blessing of this TTS mod is it kind of just automates everything. The problem is you couldn't just like throw down two character cards and expect it to make sense, you know? Because the
Yeah.
mod really watches every single click, every ban, every pick is registered by the mod. So you really have to make this work correctly.
So they're getting out the extra cards they need. There's Medusa.
You know,
She's great.
based
Great.
Based on how long this is taking, it makes me wonder if Travis even remembers what's missing.
I suspect he's had to go and look it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
His
he's not
fingers
like
haven't been moving, so I feel like he's on a website right now reading something. He's
uh,
yeah, it looks like he's probably telling Pat what he needs. Yeah, and Pat's
and then
helping him out here.
here we go. Editing roster. We're going to drop in those two.
It's so
Pat giving him a walkthrough.
yeah,
It's great.
that's hilarious. The little finger. It's
Mm.
kind of interesting. It's showing my name in the as the red player, which I believe the red player is actually Pat. So we'll see if that
I think that's because
corrects.
you're starting to set black. You're like the GM role. If you switch to grey, then I
Uh,
think it might fix that.
Okay,
It also might fix
I
itself
should
when we
fix that
get
now.
the when we get the crises. It sometimes fixes itself as well when it's lacking crises. Sometimes the
Change
top display
color.
doesn't work properly.
Okay, that's fair. Uh, Funny enough, Wargaming Dad's the laggiest person here. He's having some trouble, but it looks like
So
everyone.
Wargaming Dad is our table judge. Um,
It still shows my name in the
yeah, I think when we
streamer.
get crises, it will fix that.
Yeah, maybe once they
Excellent
spawn their
priority roll.
characters.
So we've got it looks like Travis is on priority with 4 successes to 3. So Travis is going to be doing crises first.
Hopefully they randomized it, but I guess
Well, they're just sorting the map. They're randomizing the map.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got their map.
So I've got yeah, looks like a decent
Roads.
one. Got
Oh
a
my
couple of size
gosh.
fours, a couple of size fives. They're not super impactful though. Those positions depends on the crisis, but they're not super impactful. Those size fives. I think this is fine. I think is this actually one of Pat's maps?
I haven't played
He's
this one
like,
yet. I actually feel like I should play it just to get used to it. But yeah, I got two
no,
giant size fives in the corner there.
they are, but the fact they're not in the middle makes them less impactful. So I don't mind having those 2 size 5s. I think the one down on Pat's side you can actually deploy on. I think depending on the orientation, you can deploy on kind of either of them, and so the movement hindrance that they might provide is kind of assuaged slightly. This is actually one of Carefree Llama's maps, so one of the people who does the mods has designed this map. But it looks like a decent map.
The
Makes for
names
an interesting choice.
the names corrected. Oh okay, they're doing some like
Oh,
hidden secures
yes.
extract decisions.
So it looks like Travis has been choosing the skewers. He had 217 options. I didn't get a chance to see what they were. Um,
Yeah,
but,
int-
skewers at 17, so that's like extremist or infinity formula, I suspect, were his choices. And Pat
Pat's
choosing
thinking.
between two of the extracts. Yeah.
So he probably didn't get the same card twice.
Well,
Oh,
we'll see.
P Pat is selected. Hmm.
And we're playing Montesi and Infinity, and it's got to be at 17. Montesi is always an interesting one to choose without priority. When you have priority, those odd numbers can often be good for getting an early advantage because you can generally help yourself get one of the ones that's in the middle, or generally you're looking to get one extract up. Normally, I like to try and go for an even number of extracts if I don't have priority. Maybe Pat didn't have that option. We didn't see what his options were, but this is interesting. However, he does have Angela, and if he first picks Angela, which I can imagine, then it gives him a really interesting choice. If you look at the center of the map, we've got this size 3 fountain. So, and Travis apart from if he first picks Angela, in which case you ban Black Panther and go, you're not having a leadership. It's unlikely that Pat's going to let him have Angela to go and move up, grab the central Montesi book, and
Oh,
then move away again. So there's going to
Travis
be a
just picked
character in the
Panther.
middle.
We got our
Yep.
first pick.
Well, first pick Panther. I'm really not surprised. On this combination, I'd be surprised if Pat didn't take Angela first. That would be my suspicion of what he's going to first pick, and then kind of see, does he want to go down the A Force route, or does he want to go down the Asgard route? Because Angela leaves both of those options open.
Oh,
Yeah. It's hovering
We're
over it.
hovering over Angela.
Yeah, yeah. Called
This
it.
this is the power of
So
having Asgard and A
yeah,
Force in your roster, right? Because you can
she's
just do
such a
something
powerful
like that.
spot. Yeah. So now we've got some bans. So I would be expecting. So now Travis is going to think, what do I least want to play against A Force or Asgard? So he can make that decision and dismiss one of the leaders, or he can think about getting rid of another power piece. Potentially, I was
Um,
going to say potentially Enchantress, and
yeah,
that's exactly what he's
he
done.
was hovering over Valk. I think he was thinking maybe to just make Asgard uncomfortable, but then he's like, ah, forget it. I just don't want to deal with Enchantress.
Yeah. Well, again, Montesi, it's just a
So
pain, isn't it?
there's
And
Pat
Pat,
banning
by the
Angela.
way,
Wow. So Pat feels
exactly
very
what I thought.
strong about Angela here.
Well, Angela with priority on Montesi is really strong because you can run up that,
Yeah.
that middle and then run away, and that's just a hill to climb for the opponent. So
Okay.
Pat's now got a choice. He can go either Asgard and pick up something like Thor and Valkyrie,
Oh,
or
there.
A
Yeah.
Force. Oh, look at that, Thor and
Pat
Valkyrie.
knows
There we
what
go.
he's doing.
Yeah. We'll go over to
Let's
Travis.
go see what Travis is doing.
So he's
Doing
taking
my
Black Panther.
best.
He's got his choice of Wakandans. I suspect he'll take Shuri, and hmm, he might. He's quite bloodthirsty. He might go for Killmonger. We're playing at 17, so what? That gives him either a core. He's got options to have core of 9, 10, or 11. I don't like leaving 6 in this format, so I would suggest that 11 is a bad option. So Killmonger and Shuri, I wouldn't love, because 6, you have to go for 2 threes, really, because there's no 1 threat options in his roster. And Pat can easily ban away things because there's not enough 3 threats in there. There's what? I mean, there are enough 3 threats, so maybe he could go that way. But he's gone for
Well,
a Koye for a
so
2.
we have Jaren, brother of Travis, saying that Asgard is poor into Wakanda, and so I wouldn't. I guess seeing Okoye and probably Shuri picked here might be the let's do this Wakandan style. Uh,
Maybe, but at the same time, I don't love that threat value. That leaves him with 8, which is 2 fours or a 5 and a 3. And I think we'll have a look when we come to the dismisses about what Pat's going to do. Now, Modoc is decent on Infinity Formula. Getting rid of
Pat's
that 5 then invalidates all of Travis's 3s. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Modoc disappear. I wouldn't be surprised to see Medusa disappear and potentially Enchantress, because that
yeah, we're
leaves him
seeing
with
the
one
hover.
4. Yeah, 1 4 that he can't use particularly well, and no 3s means he's going to have to go
Oh
particularly
my gosh!
wide. Yeah, there's Medusa gone, and like I said, and Modoc. Yeah, there we go. So what he's done
Wow.
there is he's taken away the 5 to get rid of the 5 and 3 options, and 2 of the 4s, leaving him with only 1 4. So he has to go 3-3-2 to get his additional 8 points. Or 4-2-2, I guess, is possible as well. But I think that the way the pick and bans work, that's not going to pan out for him.
So just so everyone, because it can be probably a little disorienting, that was Travis picking Wakanda, and then yeah, well, Travis picked Wakanda, and then Pat just banned 3 strong characters that would go with them normally.
Yeah. So now we're in Asgard, and we've got a core of 13 already. So he'll be looking to pick a 4 point character. So it's not surprising to see Medusa disappear.
So,
We've
yeah, so
got
we're
Panther and Killmonger still as 4 point options, but it looks like he's getting rid of a Okoye. So one option that Pat will have is to go 4 wide, which is going to steal him priority probably on the first round. So he
so
might be tempted. Yeah,
he's
might be tempted to go for Killmonger. By getting rid of a Okoye, he's got rid of his 2-2s options, except for if he wanted to go Toad and Black Widow.
so
That's possible.
it's big that they just attack threat values, which is is kind of the thing. Like clearly these rosters are strong enough where you just try to weaken their threat choices, rather than like really picking
Yeah,
the character. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Um, yeah,
So we're,
they're all good characters. They all serve a perfectly good role. So
so
Pat's kind of got a choice. Does he want to go 4 wide with Killmonger? And that means he's almost certainly going to get priority. Although his picks means that it's quite likely that Travis is going to end up going either 6 wide or down a threat. And so maybe he's happy going 5 wide, thinking that he's going to end
well,
up getting
you
priority
can
against
do
Medusa.
Toad Widow and just let them.
Yep.
Oh, he's hovering. If he takes Killmonger, it's
Yeah,
basically
hovering.
over. I think
Yeah,
he's
that's his team, almost certainly. There aren't any other Asgardian. Maybe Taskmaster gives him some options. He's going to pick up Widow, but then I'd expect to see Toad banned
Yeah,
because
he'll just
Travis will want
right.
ability. Yeah. Um,
All right, so we're back
so
to
over to
Travis thinking about what he
Travis
wants.
recruiting. Yeah, recruiting two. And he's got to pick up another Wakandan at least, I think, because I think he's going to end up going four wide. So
So
he's
he's
got to build 8 threat, and he
any
can go 4-2-2. The trouble with doing 4-2-2 is he picks up his 4 in Killmonger and one of the twos. Yeah,
wow.
he's gone for Valkyrie. Valkyrie's just great in Wakanda anyway, so I think that's solid.
So he's
I
gonna play a
suspect
point
he's
down,
thinking that I think that's what's going through his mind right now. He's saying, I'll just take the 2 best characters available and I'll play a threat down, and that's fine.
and we're gonna
He's
see Toad get dismissed. Okay.
Yeah, so he's got rid of Toad, so he gets rid of that option, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Taskmaster disappear as well as the other one, um, just so it limits his core to what those Asgardians were. So Taskmaster didn't go, went for Shuri. Shuri's a bit a strong piece. We all know how good Shuri is. Uh, Toad's being dismissed to limit that 2+2 option. Nebula's gone 2. So now Pat's saying, okay, you've only got 3 threats left. You can have whichever 3 threat you like. But they're probably not better than Valkyrie. So what he's done is he's forcing him now to play at least a threat down. So
Yeah.
by dismissing those 2/2s, I think getting rid of one of them probably limits him to a threat down. He could go a different way. He could build Black Panther, Killmonger, Okoye for 11, and then have a 7. No, because he hasn't got 4 again. Yeah, so those twos were kind of key. Getting rid of them means that I suspect Travis is now going to be down a threat. Okay,
Man.
so Pat, I wouldn't be surprised to see Pat picking up Taskmaster just to give him options. There we go, it's hovering over him already.
Yep.
And I would expect probably Beast as the second one. I don't think Storm's great in Wakanda, and I think Beast is perfectly good. So I would expect those to be his 2 recruits.
I love it. Uh, Jaren's saying that we're about to see Killmonger going for that Thor booty.
So
Oh, he
now
can
we're down
go.
to kind of the dregs, and it's largely irrelevant.
Yeah, this is not really gonna matter at this point. And then probably
So
gonna have a minute for them to pick from their 20 or so tactics cards.
yeah, that's going to take a while.
Do you want to play
But
a little game of what tactics cards do you take?
I think
Um,
if you're taking Killmonger, you're taking Usurp. I think that's pretty much a lock.
yeah, obviously we got Wakanda Forever on
Yep,
Travis's side.
yeah, definitely. Against Asgard, I think Brace is a strong option. He's got
Yeah.
Valkyrie, Thor, and Angela who all have good throws. Beast has a throw, so does Storm. So nearly all of his characters have throws. That seems good. Um,
Yeah, Brace is actually a pretty medium card for Wakanda, but this is definitely the advantage of having the option of every card in the game because
yeah,
you're going to want that Brace in this matchup.
yeah. I think also looking at Travis's roster, it's quite likely he's going to end up playing Black Panther and Killmonger, and that might sway Pat towards playing Killmonger because having the choice of the 2/4 threats, and especially if he can have his Killmonger usurp Travis's Killmonger, that's way easier than trying to usurp a Black Panther. So yeah, Pat's got way more options at this stage. Um, Maybe that's kind of what you'd expect when you've got a multi-affiliation roster going up against a single affiliation. It's easier to kind of box them into a corner, whereas Pat had way more options. I think dismissing Angela was a really strong play because what that does is it makes Travis have tough decisions on the first turn about that central spell book because Pat is playing Angela. I think that's a lock. And he's playing Thor and Angela and probably Valkyrie, and then either 2/2s or a 4. So that middle spell book, if Travis goes and gets it, there's a size 3. In fact, you know what? There's a size 4 truck, which could well be within 2 of Angela and a size 4 piece of terrain coming at anyone who goes and grabs that middle spell book. Whereas if he doesn't get it, then Angela goes up, picks up the spellbook, and runs away, and Pat gets the priority advantage of being up on extract. So he's taking as well as stealing priority by running a narrower squad. He's going to be up on priority for having grabbed that. that spellbook and essentially negated the advantage that Travis should be getting from his priority. So some very smart picking and banning from Pat there. Um,
So,
Giving
yeah,
the class
so
on.
if Travis had Angela, this would be like really good for him, right? But the fact that
Yeah.
he doesn't is going to make this more interesting. I gotta say too, just in my opinion, I think map B is like my favorite setup in this game. Um, it creates really weird situations of kind of cat and mouse, and it'll be really fun to see how this ends up playing out.
Yeah. And I guess if Pat does end up going four wide and Travis ends up going five, which is kind of what I predict, then Travis gets a bit of an advantage because he
Yeah,
can put his like nothingy character in the middle and then start counter deploying to Pat. So
yeah,
maybe there's
four wide's really tough on a B map. Um, I mean,
because you
just
have to commit.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you've got to put your pieces out where they're going to go. Although Angela Central is a pretty good first deployment from Pat. Okay, let's see. Have we gone with Killmonger? Yeah, he's gone Killmonger and his tactics cards to go with that: a disarm, med pack, Odin's blessing, Rainbow Bridge, and Usurp the Throne. He's expecting to see two four threats opposite him as two options for Usurp. So I really like that pick. He's gone for the two classic Asgardian tactics cards. Only one restricted in Medpack and Disarm. He's likely to be narrower than his opponent, so Disarm is much stronger because you're more likely to be able to get it off before they activate. So Disarm is great in this. I think it's yeah. I'd choose that over Bitter Rivals on this particular crisis combination.
I agree with
Um,
you. Pat kind of put disarm on the map in some ways too, so it's
yeah, with a little help from Will Pagani, I think. But yeah,
I know, he kind of nudged. Interesting too, the one restricted card. Just saying, you know what? I don't need two of them.
okay.
Um,
So as predicted, we've got Brace in Wakanda and Wakanda Forever, and we've got
no usurp, no usurp though. We're going for the field
yeah,
dressing. All you've got.
which again, he would have had a choice of Angela or Thor, so that's an interesting choice there. He's dropped out Okoye, like we kind of touched on, to make sure he's not playing a threat down. Is that right? He's got
Yeah. Well,
8 plus 6,
no, yeah,
8,
he
9.
made it. He made it work, right?
So he ended up not being threat down, but no Okoye. And with Usurp facing Usurp, you kind of want that Okoye to help. Okay, did we get? We didn't get the. We've got Mystique, but we don't have Deception. Now I know Travis loves his Mystique for that kind of cute Wakanda Forever turn, where it's Mystique's activation, and you don't get to use any of your cool defensive powers. But looking at the people opposite him, I don't see any cool defensive powers that I was going to get around. None of these characters have shenanigans on defense that Mystique will get around that way. So we'll see whether he goes with that. But all you've got is the big difference between them. I think
Well,
all you've got from Killmonger or potentially from Valkyrie, maybe even from Panther with Mantle turned on, because Mantle applies to the whole turn, so he can pay for Mantle, do a strike, get the power for all you've got, and then those Mantle rerolls are going to apply across that whole turn, including the all you've got activation.
yeah, I mean, all you've got is just a great card anyway, but when you add field dressing as kind of the combo, it's pretty sweet. Wakanda starves a little on power, usually for a couple turns, so it's more
Mm.
likely you're gonna all you've got, and then that character just dazes. Um, but you never know how bloody things can get, and if how much power is getting tossed around. You know.
So we were discussing how disarm is good when you've got priority, but the thing with a B map is even if you don't have priority, you do have priority on one side. Let's say Pat activates the left first with priority. You go, great. I'm going to activate first on the right, and I've effectively got priority in that sub game on that side of the map. So seeing Bitter Rivals over there is going to act a bit like Disarm in that he can play it on the side that he activates with essentially priority, which means that you're getting a lot of the benefit that you would get from priority just from virtue of playing on a
Um,
beam.
let's see. So this way. Yep. Thank you. Good suggestion, Jaren. Just angling my camera better. So yeah, we
Ah,
do.
so
We'll
you've
have
got the
Pat
colours
on
lining
the
up with the players. Yeah.
yeah, Pat on the
All right.
right.
Yeah, if I do that too, and then we'll be talking like for like.
Yeah, we can both say left and right.
Yeah. Or up and bottom.
Yep.
Uh, okay, cool.
That
So
you are
Killmonger's fun.
mentioning a good point though about sometimes if I don't have priority, I'll force sort of a fight on both sides of a map, just knowing that at least I'll get a victory somewhere. You know.
Yeah. You'll have that advantage somewhere. Doesn't guarantee you a victory, but yeah. So we've got Angela right in the middle. No surprises there. We've got Valkyrie coming down. And because of Usurp the Throne, I'm not surprised to see Killmonger going down last. You can see that although we've got Travis's Killmonger down, the Black Panther hasn't come down. If Black Panther gets put on the same side as Killmonger, that's probably the side Killmonger's going. I think Killmonger going on the same side as Killmonger is strong. Killmonger's so much easier to usurp than Black Panther is.
That's true. And the energy attack works to Killmonger's disadvantage.
Yep, gets around to his full physical, and that Pierce is such a strong ability. So, although, yeah, again, the lack of he's got Wakanda Forever, but no usurp. That little combo is a really nice little combo. And no Okoye means no bodyguard. So by Pat's clever dismissing, he's prevented the ability for Killmonger to be protected or Black Panther to be protected by having those attacks go into Okoye. Such an effective strategy against Killmonger because you just have to bodyguard one of the attacks and you're denying him 2 dice from attacking the same character twice.
Yeah, and denying focus fires is arguably even more valuable than 2 dice. Like just forcing him to do split damage can cost
Yeah.
you a whole activation. Do you get the feeling Travis is conceding the middle spell book?
I feel like he doesn't have a strong play. I'd have thought if anyone was going to go and grab it, the person to grab it would be Black Panther. So he could still do it from there. A double long move is a long, long way. Um, but I feel like it's not that likely that that's a play he's going to go for. I think anyone who goes up and grabs that spellbook is going to have this size 4 truck thrown into them. Maybe if you position on the far side of it, you just limit yourself to the size 3 fountain. Still not great. That has to be your first activation to deny Angela from doing it. So yeah, I'd say likely we're going to see a 4-3 score to Pat is the likely end of this round. Now, Wakandans are fun with spellbooks because that spellbook attack that it gives them, that range 6 energy attack, is 0 cost, so it can be used with Wakanda forever. So it is fun playing Wakandans on spellbooks. So Shuri now has as well as her range 5 Panther Gauntlet attack, which is absolutely fantastic. She's also got a beam 3 fixed dice energy attack, which sadly she can't pump her own rerolls into because of upgrades, but it's still a great option for if you want to go for damage with her rather than control when you're pivoting on those turns when you really need that damage output. So yeah, this is looking a lot like a refused flank here.
I don't
Fury's
think it,
coming over to where all of his full threat characters are, leaving Valkyrie alone face off against probably a Valkyrie and an Angela.
it looks really what's this?
I mean,
Looks
I
really
don't mind
close there. She's in it
that.
though, I guess. Okay. All right, so there it is, the concession. And having so many characters, he can try to win the secures. So, one thing about Angela, and I've talked to Pat about this, is that um, unfortunately, she is a 5 threat character, and running around hiding with an extract is not ideal because you're kind of losing the value of your character. At some point, Pat probably will have to engage with Angela, I would imagine.
Yeah,
That
but
being
I mean, I think
said,
it's
yeah,
really easy.
yeah, well, she's a
I think,
tough character. She could just go ambush Valkyrie or something, and it's fine. Um,
yep,
so
yeah. So there we go. Yeah, Travis, I think, had given up based on the squad's build. He'd given up on trying to get that center objective. So now what Pat's doing is he's loading up that top side. Uh, looks like he's trying to get back within two of Valkyrie, which I would say is an anti-deception habit, but it looks like we haven't got deception. I think he's seeing Mystique and thinking that Travis is running deception when he's just looking now actually and going, oh wait,
And then
deception's not
did you
there.
see? He
I
just
don't need to
shook.
worry about it.
He just shook his hand like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, none of these are deception.
Yep.
So he's putting his extract carrier with gleeful abandon much further forward than he would otherwise be doing as a conservative plane. There's no reason that Angela would need to be on that point. Valkyrie can happily score that point by herself. The extra power is useful, but Angela generally has a bit of a flood of power anyway. She doesn't spend all the power she generates typically.
So is this a potential double move Valk throw the other Valk? So I would imagine Travis has to be aware of that now.
I think you have to position really quite far forward for that to work. I don't think a small based character can double move. It certainly can't double move and be within one of that. But if he goes to the far back of that, then I think he can avoid that. Now, in my mind, that top Valkyrie of Travis's should be his last activation because
Yeah.
she's the control piece up there. Now
Oh.
he's bringing up Mystique, which is interesting. So Mystique is going to sit back there, and he's thinking maybe I can do this kind of control play where I might not be able to. Okay, I'd expect Mystique, if he was going to put her up there, to be as far back as possible. We certainly want her out of four. I mean, she's got stealth, so it doesn't matter as much, but as far away from Angela as you can.
Well,
But
okay. So if he does this, right, he's opening up his own double move with his Valk, right? So we get this weird thing where both Valks switch sides. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah, I can see that. And I'm trying to think who that advantage is. I mean, Pat's going to have priority.
well, Pat has the extra spell book, so I would say advantage Pat. It's kind of anything that breaks even is advantage Pat.
That's true, but what Travis is kind of doing there, we talked about how if Pat has priority on the bottom, then Travis is going to have priority on the top. You're giving an extra dynamic there, where you're making a three-way fight, where you've got a mini fight between Mystique and between Travis's Mystique and Pat's Valkyrie, and then another mini fight between Pat's Angela and Travis's Valkyrie. Now, I would expect Pat to go with his Angela and just try and mull a Valkyrie, who's just weaker under course. She's got that extra health, which we've talked about on the cast about how big that is statistically. But I would expect Angela to be able to take down Valkyrie more easily than Valkyrie can take down Mystique because of the counting blank. I think
So,
that's a bigger
Killmonger,
sacrifice than.
Pat's Killmonger is now positioned to gain extra power next turn. That's pretty much what you want to do with Killmonger is just juice him up for the next rounds, especially when you're playing, Usurp. You kind of can see Travis is measuring to like maybe actually go past his canister, which is fine, but
He's going to
yeah,
get punched by Thor, is the
yeah.
downside of that. But what I think Travis might be trying to do is give Pat difficult choices about first activations. He's giving him lots. So he's double moving Killmonger to as far
Still,
forward as he can.
he's
Travis's
still
Killmonger
in.
is going to be online to charge and make two attacks into someone because there's no bodyguards on Pat's side next round. Now that could be Travis's first activation on this bottom flank here if Pat goes first in one of these mini skirmishes on the top flank. So I like what Travis is doing in that he's trying to set it up so that Pat has some hard choices to make at the beginning of next round.
Yeah, and kind of awkward that Thor has to go running out in the middle of nowhere, and then kind of. It looks, in my opinion, Thor's coming back towards Killmonger.
I
But I
think
could be
that's
wrong.
very
Pat does like to switch it up, and it's kind of what I was saying about the whole cat and mouse. I wouldn't be surprised if Thor grabs the spellbook and heads towards Angela and just says, "You know what? No Killmonger shenanigans." Um,
I can see that. What that does is it really shifts the center of gravity of victory points towards that top flank. It means you'll have four victory points on the top flank. Wait, Mystique's. No, sure he's down there. Four victory
yeah,
points on the top flank, three on the bottom flank. So if Pat's committing resources to make sure he wins that top flank, then that's potentially a game plan. And he just goes, well, I'm going to make some waste actions by redeploying back up, and I've got my Killmonger there, who's quite a high threat piece, who's going to have plenty of power, and he's facing off against potential usurp targets. So, you know what? I can see that.
The way Pat's moving though, maybe so Travis has a threat of double move Panther, don't let you score anything, right? That's a pretty
Well,
solid
so Panther
move.
goes, and contests. That
Yeah.
yes, but then how much does he love Panther standing right next to Killmonger? And Killmonger's got 3 power next round, remember, because he hasn't spent any this round. He's going to get 2
Mm.
because he's right next to a canister. Uh, I mean, he
Yeah, I
could in
think
theory
Panther would
Wakanda
get Shuri
forever.
rerolls. I think yeah, Panther would get Shuri rerolls. Yeah, and Wakanda Forever is an option.
I don't think it's a great use of it this round, though. Just for 1 victory point. I think you're typically looking to try and get 2. I think Pat that tells us Pat is deciding his thoughts coming back. He's not playing
Yeah, he's not gonna
this
goof around.
confused flank. Yeah, he's going to come back and he's going to try and get within 1 of that, which I think he should have the movement to do.
Yeah, man, having flying characters is pretty relevant in this game. Yeah, he's not gonna make it. I don't think.
He might be just out.
Uh,
Oh, he's in. He's
no,
in.
no, he's super in. Yeah, okay. I think that looks pretty legit too.
Yeah.
Looks very legal. The way you sit on things in MCP is still always a little weird to me, but it makes sense. Okay. So we're back.
So we're just going to get Panther. Uh, so Panther can't deny that point. Maybe that was factoring into Pat's thinking. Just
Yeah.
moving up and standing there. He's still going to score it.
So
We've got a few more activations actually. We've got a couple of Valkyries to go to.
oh man, going with Valkyrie right now just feels like wrong. You do Panther right now.
No, I agree. Well, it depends. Maybe Travis isn't going to go for that. High
Yeah.
risk Valkyrie play. Maybe
He,
he's going to go for something safer, which looks like he is. He's put that range 1 out to just go a little bit forward, but stay within range 1. Charge
oh,
up. Got great.
this you know what though? This could be considered a block too. Because then now maybe Valk can't get close enough to actually contest, so her going up there would be sort of
Yeah, well, she was
invalidated.
never. She can't get close enough to contest. 2 single moves from a small base parity, you can't get there. You need to have either a large base or a long move. But have one of those 2 things in order to get in to actually contest that R1. So that was never on the cards, but potentially cancelling out him scoring a point was on the cards if that's what a play that he wanted.
Yeah.
But I guess you're right. With 2 characters there, there's no reason to move his Valkyrie out. Although having said that,
I mean, yeah, Pat's probably at least considering it, right?
yeah, he's going to look at it, and he can throw either character he wants potentially into the other, and maybe denying Valkyrie a power. Maybe that's not an awful play.
I just don't understand, like, when Panther has a free move to do whatever he wants, like, why would you allow Pat to see what he, like, now Pat's got a little bit of a plan, you know?
So yeah, he's moving up to within 2. He's going to spend 2 power, and he's going to throw that Valkyrie away, probably into Mystique to do chip damage on Valkyrie and a bit of damage into Mystique.
Yeah, we're rolling dice, so this is gotta be a throw. And
No,
wait,
he's going to
what?
charge attack.
Oh,
He's going to charge attack.
and Pat
Wow.
rolled crazy.
He has spiked that charge.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, now he can throw
So
if he wants. I mean,
yeah, a casual 3 damage, and now he can still throw. Yeah,
that was actually
ouch.
really good blocks. I mean, when someone rolls a full boat 5 and you only take 3, it almost feels pretty fortunate.
So Pat's trying to do the tricky thing of lining it up so that it's gonna clip Mystique, end up out of 1. I think out of 1 should be easy, but we're gonna clip Mystique.
Looks
Yeah,
like that
Valkyrie's
is
out of
out.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's 1 extra damage to Valkyrie and a collision with Mystique. Very nice. Free terrain by using characters with terrain. So wow, yeah, strong opening play there.
We should see a dice roll, I would imagine. Oh.
Now it may be that Pat is then
Oh,
going to.
we're already bracing.
Wow, that's drawn the brace. Interesting. There's a lot of size 4 terrain hanging around, so I think Pat will be very happy to see that
Yeah.
going. And I think
Oh
that
man,
really is
like Angela 100% can throw that green truck.
sure. Yeah, she can move along, she can get it, and she can throw it at someone. And now there's no brace on the board. Uh, Also, it really enables like Thor down here has to be a priority if he's going to activate first on this bottom flank, Travis, because Pat's going first on the top flank. He's got to be dealing with Thor because Thor that now that size 4 truck that Thor's standing on is 5 automatic damage coming towards someone on top of like a Faraz guard. It just it could be
I
potentially
mean,
very
yeah, we're dealing with a truck on both sides, and no way for Travis to make them go away.
yeah. So we'll see in the future, in the fullness of time, whether that was the right choice.
Yeah.
Um, but dealing with Thor, 6 health, he's going to have enough to pay for Odin's blessing next turn, unless Travis uses Wakanda Forever here, which he could. Fury might be within 5 of Killmonger, and then Panther could push Thor. That might be a strong play. It's only 1 BP, but it's good positioning, so it's something he's probably considering. But no, they're calling the round. And
So,
as predicted, we've got an advantage Pat 4 to Travis 3.
so I mean, I promise I'll never mention this again, but Panther could have just done that move, and then Valk would have been the last move, and none of what just happened would have happened.
Agreed. I think that was probably an order of activation error from Travis.
I mean,
But
yeah. Now, all the characters were activated on the bottom board, you know?
yep,
There's no
agreed.
threat for Panther.
So Pat's going to switch over to having priority,
Yeah.
and I would expect him to act on the probably on the top front, somewhere up the top. Uh, First, he's now got potentially a 5 power Valkyrie that he's staring down there, and he'd quite like her to be dazed, I would imagine.
So, yeah, I mean, with Odin's blessing and even with Rainbow Bridge, like you could theoretically get Thor out of there. Um, so it feels really tempting to finish the job and take out Valk. Pat is someone who absolutely loves holding priority, though.
But
So,
he can, because of the numbers advantage, he can take out someone and still keep priority because he's four
mm,
to five. So he can take out Valk and still retain priority. But you're right, he'll be thinking about that. But I think he'll look at that and go, no, that's fine. So long as I don't take out anyone else. Okay, Travis is just stepping away for a minute. That's why there's not a lot happening. Um,
okay. Well, I guess let's just ask, what would you do right now if you were Pat?
I think my priority would be taking out Valkyrie. I think a 5 power Valkyrie could do a lot of damage potentially into Angela. It looks like she can get there. She could position so that she can throw Valkyrie into Angela. So you're going to get 2 big attacks. If the first attack goes, so you're going to get what? Probably a charged Dragon Fang, and then hopefully get the flurry, gain some
Well,
power off that second attack, throw Valkyrie. That Valkyrie could do a whole bunch of work.
the
Is
Valkyrie,
what I
Pat's
would.
Valkyrie is only at 3 power right now.
Sure, but Travis's is at 5. So my
Oh,
concern
right.
is
So you want to deny
Travis's
that?
Valkyrie.
Yeah.
I want to stop that charged Dragon Fang into Angela because that could rinse my Angela, and maybe he has a whole action left with a bunch of power generated from that flurry strike to go into my Valkyrie and throw her away and make her less relevant, and basically try and win for this round that top flank. So that would be my concern.
One.
Now, which character is best positioned to deal with Valkyrie? It's only 3 damage. Um, I think probably I'd be happier committing my Valkyrie than my Angela at this stage. Yeah. If his Mystique wants to come forward and take some pot shots at my Angela, I think I'm fine with that. He can't use his Wakanda leadership
Oh, we
on
got
that
stuff
Thor.
happening. Oh, they're just power phasing manually.
Power
Maybe
stuff,
some
yeah.
lag issues. Hey, all of Wakanda's hanging out together, so Wakanda Forever is all bunched up, which makes sense. Um,
I mean, it does, but at the same time, you'd quite like to be winning lots of different secure points with either the days you're going to get off Killmonger or the pushes you're going to get off Panther and Shuri. I don't see Pat contesting that far canister. I see him sitting back, especially with Panther right there, sitting back and dealing with the threats and making Travis use actions to get in to deal with Pat. Uh, yeah, there's nothing that triggers in the power phase. We're not getting any tactics cards. Pat's just considering his options now. He's had a bit of time to do some thinking. I don't feel that. I mean, even on 3 power. The fact he's got Odin's Blessing out, if Panther goes after Killmonger, I'm not that worried. It's just giving him loads of power to do all kinds of cool stuff next round and get that Wakanda Forever. So I'm not too worried about this bottom flank at all. I think, yeah, we're seeing some measuring going on.
I wonder if Angela's within range 4 of Valkyrie.
Well, that was what Pat was just measuring was range 3. I think he's
Yeah,
looking at, can I disarm Valkyrie? If I get my Angela up there, can I then disarm his Valkyrie if it all goes wrong? So he's planning for failure, which is always a good thing to do.
all right. Yeah, I mean, I like if Angela can do a range 4 attack and then get the move and then do a teleport range 2.
Shows what I know. Thor is attacking Black Panther. It's not.
Whoa.
He's throwing a size 4 truck into Black Panther. That's what he's doing. And Black
And
Panther is blocking none of it.
I think the Thor just got thrown
Ouch.
off the board. Uh,
I'm sure our table judge. We got a Rakonda reroll in there as well, and Panther is still taking 5 damage. So that not having brace available, that was kind of big.
Holy cow. 5 damage, you say?
5 damage. He didn't block a single thing from that truck.
Um, where did Thor? Oh, Thor's back on the board. Okay.
So we know he was within 1, so they're just putting a range 1 on there and going, well, it's roughly that direction. And they're getting a good approximation of where Thor actually was.
Jeez, man.
But what we're probably going to see now is Thor's going to daze Black Panther and then throw a hammer at Killmonger to shock him so that it seriously reduces his potential. I mean, it's possible that Black Panther blocks this 6 dice that's coming into him, but if he gets a wild, there's a forklift just behind him. He's going to get thrown into. So
No.
all Pat needs is a wild. There's the wild. It doesn't matter what Travis rolls now because that throw is going to trigger first unless Pat particularly wants the power gain, and he can opt not to
2
throw. So
blocks
it's
to
all
the 3. So the one went through anyway, but the. So,
yeah.
kind of interesting. You could elect to not throw and gain a power.
What you're doing there, though, is you're also denying him the power generation in the next round's power phase by pushing him off the serum.
That's fair.
So
Granted,
I
he's
think that's
at like
right.
a million power right now.
True, but Panther has great ways to spend power. He's never sad to have power.
He's at 9
Um,
now. Um,
yeah.
does anybody else hate Asgard? We have in the chat. Asgard can be pretty brutal sometimes. It's a pretty feels bad moment when there's a giant size 4 object on the board.
So here comes the shock hammer throw into Killmonger.
Oh,
No blocks from
that's.
Killmonger this time. So some decent chip damage and a shock. That's a bad looking Killmonger.
I feel like Thor's ability to shock people is like, I don't know, just feels so good. And when people were playing Thor a lot a year ago, it didn't feel like that was something everybody was bragging about. Um,
I think good players for a while have seen that and gone, you know what, that's something I need to use well. Often, move up once and throw a hammer is a decent round 1 for Thor. It costs him a power, but he's still going to have 1 left and then gain 2, so he's still going to have the magic 3 power that Thor needs for the beginning of an activation. So yeah, Killmonger used a Wakanda reroll, which is why he only took 2. Managed to come up with a wild, which gave him 4 power. So he could theoretically go up and maybe make an attack and be ready to field dressing Panther. So Travis has got field dressing as an option. And so we could be seeing Panther coming back into it. Another good reason for throwing him away rather than taking an extra one power on 4.
Did I miss rerolls? Like, was Travis trying to
Yeah.
reroll things? Okay.
Yeah, he re-rolled one of Killmonger's defense dice and got a wild on it, so he
All
blocked
right.
one and only took 2. But he still gets the shot.
Yeah. You got to bear with me. Trying to be a cameraman is mentally exhausting at times. I don't I have to resist all my urges to spin in circles and not make everyone nauseous.
Yeah, I think maybe Travis is falling into another trap here. Is activating Killmonger now the right thing? I guess maybe because otherwise Pat goes with his Killmonger and dazes or potentially usurps one attack. Seems unlikely. Yeah, he's probably not going to usurp this turn. But
Holy cow.
I was
And
thinking,
wait, what? What injured Killmonger? Oh, the
through
hammer
a hammer.
actually hit
Yeah,
him.
through a hammer.
I was just happy he
Rolled
gets
another
shocked.
hammer.
You know what that is because I've been playing too much Storm, and when I get shock on someone, I'm just already excited. But you know, turns out those hammers
Like,
actually leave
yeah,
bruises.
yep. I mean, Travis has had some shocking defense dice so far. He rolled no blocks on Panther, and then no blocks on Killmonger on 4 dice. Reroll 1. He got 1 block. So
All right, here we
Killmonger's coming
go.
in. We get a charge from him. It looks like he's going into Killmonger.
Well, there's some good
Great,
dice.
great block from
Of
Pat.
course,
Yeah,
Pat gets 2 crits, so that's a thing. Oh, and Travis is probably a little frustrated about the skull. Can't reroll skulls.
yeah. He's got can't reroll, so he only takes
Oh my,
one. He
one.
hasn't got the wild for the PS
Yeah,
either,
no
so he only
pierce.
only takes 1. It's just powering up that Killmonger. He's got Shuri rerolls online, but he can't use them. He's got another attack, which is going to be a 7 dice attack because it focused on the kill if he wants it.
Hmm.
Uh, Yep, he's going for a Black Ops strike. So he's paid 3 for Black Ops strike, which is going to be a 9 dice physical attack, which does some other stuff as well.
Hmm. Not the
No,
best.
no. Yeah, he's got some rerolls coming in his way though.
Three skulls is kind of brutal when you have, you know, Wakanda
Yep.
reroll and Shuri.
So here's 2 Shuri rerolls,
He
another
rolls into
skull.
another skull. Okay.
A lot of skulls. So he's taking 2 more. But on the wild, I think he gets staggered. Yeah, so wild stagger, and Killmonger gets to teleport in. So Pat's Killmonger's only going to have 1 action, which could, I mean, it's possible that that does enough damage to this Killmonger, to Travis Killmonger. Seems unlikely, though. What have you got? He's got enough power for a Black Ops strike, so a 7 dice physical into 4 physical defense, or he's got uh, 5 dice energy with pierce. That's kind of like a 6 dice into 3 physical defense.
Yeah, it kind of evens out. Granted, the builder's always more juicy, right?
Oh man.
Uh,
Huh.
Shuri can negate a person too when she needs
That's
to. What are you oh-manning about? What's going on?
uh, Killmonger, all the Killmonger's attacks that just happened. There was oh no, 8 dice. That's fine. Yeah, they've taken in the shock. Cool. I was like, man, they didn't account for the shock.
No,
Very good.
I saw him rolling 4 dice, and then I didn't count the last roll because it was just like a million dice. But
Yeah, no, there was 8 dice. There were no crits in there, so he did roll the right number of dice. It's all good. I was like, huh, they didn't think about shock. And I went, no, they're smarter than I am. They did. So easy to forget those things. And we've got a really good table judge. The Wargaming Dad is our table judge for this game, and I'm sure he will win as well.
we're rolling dice. Why are we rolling dice?
We got a 5 into a 3. This feels like a Valkyrie going into a Valkyrie. Oh man, Pat's rolls are just on fire.
And it keeps coming.
Yeah.
Oh, um, Travis's
Killmonger.
Killmonger just died. So that was just
Wow. Okay.
Killmonger with his 1 attack dazing a character. Oh my gosh.
Yep. So we got 5 hits and a pierce into 2 blocks, which becomes 1. So that did exactly the 4 that was required in order to daze the Killmonger. Oof,
That
things are not going Travis's way on the dice today.
and how is priority looking? We still
Because Killmonger's activated, that hasn't affected priority.
Yeah. So Pat is gonna hold priority, and he just got a kill count because why not?
Yep, for sure. And he's set up. He's going to have priority. He's going to be set up to usurp the throne with Killmonger onto Killmonger, removing a really powerful piece, um, and gaining 2 victory points, very likely at the beginning of next round.
Brutal. Very brutal. I kind of like that play too because then sure he can't just move and mess up Killmonger's activation even worse. Um, and sure he's not going to be able to move them both off. So
Mm.
that
Something
just
we need.
solved it. It's a little bit of a gamble by Pat, but not like that bad.
Okay, so we've got some dice coming in. We've got 4 dice. This feels like Mystique going into 3. Probably then that's Mystique into Valkyrie. It's a
Yeah,
nice 2 damage through and an additional shot. Is
he
Xavier
has
going to
cover
grab?
though.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
which
He's got cover. So right, so he's only going to take 1.
Pat had pointed out. I don't know if Travis saw it or not or what, but
Yeah.
shooting into cover with it doesn't feel good.
4 dice into cover. So this is the second of the rapid fire shot of this first action. So there's still another action left after this. So another 1
Oh,
from Valkyrie there with the cover blocking
wait,
1.
hold up. He didn't roll the hit last time, did he?
On first, yeah, you got 2 hits. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my Jarvis is messing with me then. Swear it says 0 hits, but
Nope. On the previous one, blue got 2 hits. Red got 2 hits as well. On this roll, he's got no hits. So this is the second attack, which can't trigger a third attack. It's not like it's Deadpool.
the chat is saying need to destroy that terrain before it gets thrown at you with Mystique.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mystique's got the power now. She could just blow it up. So it looks like she's
Seems
going for another set of rapid fire shots.
it wouldn't be
Travis
enough.
leaning into the dice. So it looks like Pat's blocking 2 with cover.
Oh, we
So it's going to take another
rolled the
1.
hit there.
Death by 1,000 cuts for Valkyrie.
I mean, Valkyrie's defense is really her ability to take hits, right? Like
Yeah, it's
she's
perfect stamina. The cover's really helping there. The cover has added like 3 health to Valkyrie. Valkyrie would be dazed right now if she didn't have cover.
yeah, no cover's huge. Um, juicing up Valkyrie is interesting.
I mean, he's hoping to spike one of these rolls. But then that one's all locked, which can also happen with these rapid fire characters. Sometimes some of their attacks just do nothing. They get new power still, but Mystique has done a bit of damage there. But Pat does have medpack, so I would expect to see a medpack Valkyrie. Seems kind of likely. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just uses the Asgard leadership to take it down to 2 and go, that's fine. I don't mind her there. And save the power for making a bunch of attacks, particularly into the now. Because if Pat can charge in Valkyrie, daze Valkyrie with attacks, and then throw Mystique away, Pat has won that top side.
I don't know if you caught it too. It does look like Pat did use the leadership on Killmonger during that stagger activation.
So
Um,
if you notice the little hammer token, the
yeah.
Asgard token up by Killmonger, it's a really good tip for those of you who are playing Asgard to use that to mark when you're using Asgard leadership, so that you can see it has been used this round. Some of the leaderships which are per turn, like Brotherhood and A-Force, it's not really worth that effort because it's all happening within 1 turn, and so it's easy to keep track of. But ones that go across a whole round, like Asgard, I find it really useful to use the tokens to mark that.
I wonder if Pat is forgetting or choosing not to use it this time. It's kind of weird. Oh,
You can use it
he's
anytime.
hovering over his power, so well, you have to use it at the beginning of the activation.
That's true, yeah. But he can use it in
He's no,
for
he's
any
charging,
action.
so he's not using it. Maybe he has the idea in his
Maybe.
head that he's med packing no matter what.
Uh, I can see that. Yeah.
So is this like kind of interesting, right? Because if I'm Pat, I kind of want to hold priority more, but maybe you just know that Valkyrie's going to take you out, so just cut to the chase and
Yeah, this will transfer priority. So that'll be an interesting question for them for Pat later, talking about this. So first attack was a block. Second attack is coming in. 3 hits into 1 block currently.
did we
Four
see?
hits.
We didn't see any power spent. Like he's just doing normal
No, he has.
strikes.
He hasn't. Yeah, yeah. He's not using the power. He's wanting to save it. And Wakanda reroll keeps that Valkyrie alive. So what we're going to see now,
We're gonna
though,
see a throw
is
though.
yeah, Valkyrie's going to get thrown into Mystique. Seems likely, or Mystique gets thrown into Valkyrie is the other possibility.
Weird. Or just oh, so he med packed, and then he's gonna move this so it's an even split.
Yeah. Why? So throwing Mystique into a lamppost. I'm confused why Valkyrie hasn't taken more damage.
I don't know. To be honest, I wasn't following the rolls that closely. I just assumed that they would
It looks
clean it.
like there was 2 damage going through onto Valkyrie, and she should be on 5 damage, but maybe I'm missing something there.
In my head, that Valkyrie was dazed because usually Valkyries kind of fall to Valkyries, especially half health Valkyries. But
You just have to roll.
they're not seeing the chat, and we're rolling dice. So
Okay, this is Travis's Valkyrie is activating. She wasn't dazed, so that
yeah, I
doesn't
mean,
affect.
not being dazed is all that matters at the moment.
Yeah.
He spent power. What did he spend the power on? Did he just go all in for the Dragon Fang? Kind of
He's
feel like,
on Dragon Fang and
and he did
probably
it.
Warrior Weapon.
He just took
Yeah.
out a full health,
1
previously
hit.
med packed Valkyrie.
Yep. Seems good.
I mean, that's the
He's got
experience you usually have when Valks are hitting Valks. Is they kind of just go
one of them
down.
just one of them just smashes the other.
Okay then. Yeah, sadness for med pack, but I mean, spikes happen. That probably was a bit over the norm. Kind of awkward that wouldn't you have gotten a flurry here? No flurries for you. Um,
Yeah.
adds a. I always forget Fang adds a bleed.
It does, but not if you get dazed. The
Yeah,
dazed
yeah.
happens first, and you can't have the status tokens added to you. Okay, well, interestingly, that means Pat's definitely having priority next round.
So you probably move your Valkyrie away, right? You don't want Valkyrie within range 4 of Angela. There's some thinking here going on with Travis. He must have some
Well, I think
thoughts.
just yeah, he's mainly thinking I've got to score that point. I think, but that Angela is looking at him and being kind of
I
sneaky
wouldn't
competitive.
want to let Angela get multiple things going on. Um, so
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially Cosmic Assassin off Valkyrie into Mystique, and
right.
all sorts of bad things could happen.
Yep. And I mean, we're eyeballing a giant truck there.
Yep, that seems bad because that Cosmic Assassin, that range 4 from Angela. We'll see because I don't think Travis measured this, but I think that should be
Um,
about yeah, should be
he
about
moved
range
it
5.
out. I mean, he probably knows just from experience the distances
Yeah,
of the two
yeah.
canisters.
Yeah, the canister, center canister is range 5 apart. So it's like it's yeah. It was good because his Angela was back of the canister and Travis's was in the middle. I think it was clearly about range 5 away. But now he's looking, eyeing up Mystique.
So this could
So
be a Blades of Icar. Oh no, well, yeah, yeah, you could do the blades into a throw. That seems strong.
Yeah, we've got 3 defense dice, and we've got 6. Do you see the
Wait,
blades?
wait. Isn't a Blades a 5 dice attack? Oh, is he
No, it's
beaming?
just
He's beaming.
that's smart.
What a
Beam
savage.
from the book.
And wait, how's Valkyrie? So Valkyrie somehow only took 2 now. I don't get this, but
I've sent a
we just
message
had,
to
yeah.
Judge.
Okay. 1/1 block. So he's put them both at 1. Kind of weird. He's gonna finish off Valk with the fountain. I mean, rolling the dice, I guess you get crits, right?
Yep.
So that seems strong. He's gonna score there. What's left here? We've Shuri, and that's it. So,
Yep, sure is the only unactivated model.
which gives Pat priority.
Yeah, because of the days of Valk and the fact that he didn't manage to daze the other Valk before she activated. So it's worked out quite well for Pat in terms of priority. I think he'd have rather have looks like he would rather have lost priority and kept his Valk alive, which I can totally see.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That went down kind of weird, but just gonna get, I guess, Thor back.
Okay.
Dude, my Shuri always rolls ridiculous, and you always are reminded immediately it's 1 damage.
Yeah. I rolled amazingly, and I do 1 damage.
Let's see if he remembers to add the 2 power because he rolled a skull. He did, of course. Our Shuri veteran.
I'm sure Pat would have reminded him as well. Game state is responsibility of both players. And then there's table judge as well.
Sure thing. And I assume it's not a May.
No, it's mandatory.
Yep, yep.
So interesting, Thor's been pushed off when actually I think maybe Killmonger would have been a bigger threat, but I guess he's got so much power that maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas pushing Thor off, he took a
Well,
damage.
Thor's a little starved. I mean, he's gonna have the power he wants for next turn anyway.
Yeah, I think Travis probably wouldn't have been at all unhappy to do no damage and just get the push and leave Thor on 2 power.
Yeah.
Probably what he was shooting for.
I mean, it's hard to argue that I think Pat's been firmly in control here. The way that even these points are working out is very much in Pat's favor. There's a lot of finger movement, which makes me wonder if they're even discussing concessions or something. I don't know. Maybe Travis went AFK again. I don't know. But what's the score here? We're gonna get 2 for Pat, 1 for Shuri on the secures, and then another 2 for Pat. 1, so 4-2.
4-2.
Which Pat's already up 1 right now, so that's gonna be a pretty big jump.
I mean, it's not over. There's still the ability to come back. He's committed his lots of VP model in Valkyrie. Sorry, in Angela, who's currently scoring 2 VPs this round. Mystique, and Angela's in a position where if Travis goes big on her, there's all you've got in his pocket as well. There's to happen. So he's definitely not out of it, but it's looking kind of uphill for him.
So Mystique's alive at 1, which is awkward.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially
just
with Angela something on your face, looking like Angela's going to potentially take out Mystique to dazed and Valkyrie to KO'd is something that I can see happening next round.
I would say 100% if I'm Pat, and correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think you go with Killmonger. Like that's just happening because Killmonger's juiced. He's wounded. He's got the kill count thing. He's also protecting Thor, who's worth some VPs. Also, he does have usurp, right? So you could
You can
usurp
usurp the
into
Killmonger.
Killmonger and then just score some more VPs. It's just brutal, right? Um,
It is, but Killmonger hasn't been dazed yet, and so he might still have that option next round if he clears up the top side. So if he's going to daze Mystique and KO Valkyrie, and then his Killmonger gets dazed in response, then I think he still retains priority, so that
uh,
Killmonger can then go in round 4 first to do that plan you just said.
you're also weakening Wakanda Forever and all you've got and field dressing. Granted, field dressing's now useless because all those characters are wounded pretty bad. Um,
Yeah.
oh,
It looks like during Shuri's activation, Mystique is field dressing Valkyrie.
oh my. That's
So that's a VP swing, which is nice.
okay.
But it means that those two characters are going to get dazed
I
afresh.
well, and you know what? He's identifying that. What else are you going to do with field dressing at this point?
Mm.
I mean, I guess you just leave it as a dead card, but
Okay, so I've just had confirmation from the table judge, and maybe we missed this, that when Pat was attacking with his Valkyrie, the first attack was into Travis's Valkyrie, the second attack was into Mystique. Maybe that's why Mystique's on so much damage that we missed.
okay.
So it looks like they were all good.
Thanks for clearing that up. Wonder where. Oh, okay. It's weird. It seemed like Travis came back from somewhere. Now there's some finger movement.
Okay, now they're doing the cleanup. Uh,
Maybe discussing power and stuff.
Yep, I think Travis was just taking a bit of time to consider whether it was worth field dressing for that BP swing.
Okay.
So he's taking a bit of time just to think about it, and he decided to do it, just try and limit Pat running away with the game.
If I'm Pat, I go with Killmonger though. 10 power, I mean, you got characters who are dazed side, so you can just erase characters. You're slowing down the Wakanda Forever. All you've got it seems like. Not to mention, you can cut off Biddle Rivals a little bit. Probably Biddle Rivals would then get played at Valk Angela, but like Angela's still protected by Odin's Blessing.
She is, but I can definitely see an all you've got from the Valkyrie on the top side from Travis in order to take down Pat.
Maybe you Rainbow Bridge. Like maybe you just Rainbow Bridge Angela out of there. Heck, you could even Rainbow Bridge Valk in the opposite direction, like behind a truck or something.
I don't think rainbow bridging is going to do enough for Angela.
Yeah,
And
yeah. The
yeah,
distance isn't great.
okay, yeah. Killmonger's usurping
There
into
we go.
Killmonger. So if
That's
he's
what I
paid 1, he
figured.
has Guardian ability to heal 1. He's going to pay 3 for usurp, and I suspect this will just be a 7 dice vibranium weapons with a reroll from the kill count. That seems pretty good. Into 3 dice defense. Yep. No, it looks like he's paying for the 7 dice, going to 9 dice Black Ops Strike.
Oh, geez, he's just going all in.
Yeah.
Lots of dice being rolled. Wow.
He's only got one.
Huge whiff
Not a great
though.
defense, but not a great. Yeah. I mean, he's got the kill count reroll come
I
in.
mean, and he will stagger for what that's
Remember
worth. It's not what you're hoping for though.
No.
You get to move off this too. He gets a teleport. That's not relevant.
Yeah. Here comes the kill count reroll.
Hmm,
That's gonna
okay,
help.
helped a little. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna see a lot of rerolls here probably.
Yeah. Wakanda reroll. Oh. And then potentially up to 3 Shuri rerolls. See what he goes for. Yep, 3 Shuri rerolls. He's going to try and keep his Killmonger alive.
Yeah, I mean against a roll like this.
Okay, blocks 2 of them, so he's only going to take 1.
Yeah, the kill count was pretty
Yeah.
good there for him. Did add stagger. Now, I mean, you just go again, right?
No, you got to go again. You can't pay for another Black Ops Strikes. This is just going to be a regular. Ooh, crikey, what is it now? It's a 9 dice energy pierce. Yeah, into 3 defense. This is still on the cards.
Oh, so this is
Uh,
Pat thinking for a minute, like, do I just
oh,
change?
why did Killmonger take 2 there?
He shouldn't have.
Oh, I think may have paid 2 to count his shields. The ability,
Oh,
which a lot of people forget. He's looked at that and gone, I got 2 shields and only 1 hit. It's going to be better for me to count my shields. And that's a great attack roll from him. 6 hits, pretty good.
yeah, it's very good.
6 hits into 1 block. You've only got 2 rerolls available. For a
Is
Killmonger
the
and
kill count reroll?
reroll, yeah,
Didn't get a
makes sense.
wild, which he probably would have loved to get here, but
I think he's happier with
oh,
7 hits.
didn't even matter.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it just wasn't enough rerolls. Because Sherry's down to 1. Get
yeah,
Wakanda. Yeah, that's great. So there you go. 2 more VPs for Pat.
goes up to 9.
Man, I do love just usurp the throne.
It's great.
It's a fun card, man. I remember back in the day loving that card so much. And now we're gonna
I think
see
looks like Pat's disarmed someone. He's disarmed, I suspect,
Valk.
Valkyrie.
Valk, yeah.
Yeah. So we're
Bitter
seeing some,
rivals.
yeah, bit of rivals.
Very interesting. Oh man.
So paid
Bitter
for
Bitter rivals
by a
against
major.
4 characters, and when they're all split up like this, it doesn't feel that great. It's like a slightly
Certainly not like,
overcosted.
yeah,
It's
but
probably just as good as disarm though, even then, because it affects both sides of the dice.
yeah. So that you can try and it makes you more likely you can take the character down. If you don't manage it, then you've got a backup plan of okay, well, they're punching me back less hard.
I hate to say it, but even when Bitter Rivals is only affecting 1 character, I feel like it's still a really good card, which probably says something about its power level, because it's often affecting more than 1 character.
Yeah, I think a lot of players have switched on to the power of it.
Hmm.
I feel like
Wait,
it's kind of edging out Blind Obsession even. Blind Obsession maybe on a D shape where you get more one-on-ones. Bit
yeah,
of rivals on Angela. So it looks like he's going to be targeting Valkyrie.
yeah. I think ideally you play both, but not everybody can fit that.
Yeah, they're looking for a bit of rivals token, but there isn't one there. I've looked before, giving him an Asgardian token instead.
Uh, oh, you know why there isn't a token? Because we're playing Battle Realm.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Battle Realm.
spawn.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like they've put the Asgardian token for disarm on Valkyrie and the Guardians of the Galaxy token for Bitter Rivals on Angela. Good improvisation.
All right, and we're gonna see some dice.
Now this looks like 4 dice. This looks like Mystique.
Really? Mystique and a Valkyrie? Is this happening?
And it's 2 dice, so this would be into Valkyrie, yeah.
Hmm.
Try and take her off the table.
Trying to think of why
So it's
it would be
reroll
Mystique.
gets him a hit, but that hit's going to be blocked, and it doesn't trigger the rapid fire.
Very interesting. Why would you feel that Mystique is the chosen one here? I'm just curious.
He might be looking at a Wakanda Forever turn, and he just likes doing Wakanda Forever on Mystique. I don't think it actually gets him anything particularly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so either.
So he's gonna chance his luck again, and he gets the rapid fire this time, and a couple of damage through. Going to have a Wakanda reroll, I suspect.
Wait, didn't he have I thought this is the second dice roll,
Yeah,
right?
second action. Second action. Yeah.
But he didn't I thought I saw a hit on the last roll.
No, there was no No hit on the first roll.
Was there not? My gosh, I'm losing it.
Wow. Lot of hits on this one though. And that he
Uh,
might consider an Odin's Blessing here. This might be a good time. No, he's
no,
chosen to
no.
KO Valkyrie.
This is a very pat maneuver. It's not costing him the objective, you know?
That's true. But I think a high power Valkyrie, you're going to get a lot of work out. I wouldn't hate having that.
Oh
Maybe.
my. All you've got. This is what he was doing. I think he was counting on having more attacks. You know, because the guns kind of guarantee power, right? So
That's true. Yeah, you're going to get at least two power off
it's
that.
almost like a Doom Prophecy play.
First, all he's got is going to trigger into a rapid fire, but Angela's going to
Yeah.
block all of that. He's not going to bother
And
wasting
you
on
don't get to
rerolls.
reroll, which feels bad when you're Wakanda.
Yeah, you can't get on the rerolls. So this is the first action rapid fire attack. That's another great roll from Travis. Angela's going to take one by the looks of it.
Yeah. 1 out of 6.
Yeah. So we've got one more action left.
The pistols are slightly annoying for Odin's Blessing because it's usually less spiky, but you know, still 5 health left.
So another hit there. So you're going to get another attack coming in.
Yep.
And no blocks. So that's going to be 2 damage through. And the final attack roll off the rapid fire. Some good dice from Travis. But
Yeah.
Pat blocking 2 of those 3 at the minute.
Yeah. It's.
Blocks
I
the
mean,
third. Travis gets
Pat
one
just
through.
block 3. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. So what
There
we're
it
going to see
is.
now is Angela go ham. Oh, Mystique's already dazed. So
Oh, yeah. Cookie's bringing up a good point. When you play Mystique, you can't use Odin's Blessing.
yeah,
That was the
very true.
logic.
Yep. So he did get something out of that.
Yeah, thank you, Cookie, man. You know, it's funny because I had the same thought in a league game when I was playing Mystique, and now here I am just completely forgetting about it. Um, yeah,
That's quite unusual.
good tip
Yeah.
from the chat. Um, man,
I think it's Pat pass. I think because Travis is measuring stuff. So
what are we going? We got
activation
2
passed by
activations
the
to
3
what's
to
the
4.
4? Yeah, so but man,
Yeah.
that's well, okay, so he still has Odin's Blessing, but man, like, ugh.
Feels bold to pass. I think I'd be going with Angela and taking out Valkyrie.
So did Pat sneak in a heal though? No, that symbols the blind obsession.
Yeah. So
Oh wait,
he's
oh,
doing this
so he
now.
just healed.
So he's
Yeah.
healing one off Angela. He can still pass after he does that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I just saw Travis measuring some stuff, and I wondered if Travis was going to be doing some stuff as people. But it looks like no, Angela's going into Valkyrie as expected. Three
Oh,
hits there
oh,
into
Jaren, I'm
one
sorry,
block.
man. Looks like Jaren mentioned the Odin's thing before Cookie. My bad, dude. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
yep, so that's a day's Valkyrie. Angela's going to place onto a point, or maybe even she's going to run away back to the back point. I can see that as an option too. Just
Hmm.
get out of range of these murder characters.
Well, no, because if you can guarantee priority for next turn, just get ready to throw a truck at somebody.
I guess. Yeah, you hop forward and get that truck in range. Hmm. So you're Travis now. What are you doing to claw this back? You've now got Wakanda Forever is your only tactics card.
You pray your dice save you, because there's not much else to do. I mean, he's only got the Wakanda Forever, which is only relevant on the side of the. It's like Panther can't even do anything to Thor. I mean, I guess you go for some crazy one shot, but there's no way Pat would allow that. Maybe he's thinking like move, pounce, attack, and just hope it goes well. I mean, you can
Got
still
plenty of-
daze Killmonger too. Maybe
Uh,
maybe like an
yeah.
AOE thing. Oh, he can't even do that. I always forget. I always picture Connect Burst as some big blasty thing, but it's not really.
So he's
What?
gaining 2 power. I suspect that's Mantle. Then he's moving to within range 2 of Thor.
He's reading the card.
Yeah, he's thinking about his choice. This decision tree with Panther about how do I spend my power to maximize my attacks. Step 1, Mantle. Step 2, have enough power to pounce. So I think he's got 3 power to play with. So
Yeah,
he
he's good.
could go with a kinetic burst. But
Um,
he wants one on him to Wakanda Forever. So I think,
Unfortunately, the pounce doesn't actually threaten anything. It's like even if you take the full hit, they're both fine.
but he's done one move to get there. He's then got an action to attack and then potentially to pounce. Uh,
What's happening? I'm seeing cards move around. Oh,
yeah, they're just putting away the disarm and the bit arrivals are no longer relevant. That whole top side of
yeah.
the table is done. They're just cleaning up the board.
The thing is, ideally you want to take out Thor badly, but it's just not happening. Um,
I mean, dice are dice. Maybe it is. He's got all the rerolls turned on for his mantle. He's paid for that.
I think though, if you're gonna Odin's Blessing, this would be the time.
He's in Shuri range. So we've got one reroll available from Shuri. He's got pay for a Wakanda reroll, so he's got a reroll all and then 2 extra rerolls on top of that. So I can see that it's not beyond the realm's possibility. Panther is paying 3, so this looks like a kinetic burst. And he's paid another one. Presumably to get extra
I'm
dice on it.
curious who's being attacked. If this isn't a Killmonger or not.
It's energy attack instant nurses into Thor because he got 4 dice energy defense. So 2 blocks from Pat, 3 hits so far. He's got mantle turned on, I
Oh,
think.
we're re-rolling with Shuri.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he didn't take a mantle. I don't know what he paid that 2 power earlier for then. Okay, now he's doing
Oh,
mantle rolls. I'd have done them first, but I mean, maybe it doesn't make a difference. And he's got 1 power available for a thunder reroll if he wants. He's got 2 damage going through currently. And then because of kinetic burst, he didn't get the wild for explosive force.
Hmm.
Might make him
So
sad,
we just saw
but he's
Thor
got
gain
one.
2 power. Take 2 damage.
And yeah, so he's got Wakanda. He's got Wakanda Forever available, and if he uses it this round, he'll benefit from the mantle reroll.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Wakanda forever.
I imagine. Sure, he spent all her power, so she's not using it. So this is to try and
So,
take out Thor. That's a great roll.
I don't hate this actually. The way he did this. Um, does it
I'd
work
expect
out
to
though?
see, now I'd expect to see an Odin's Blessing come in.
Yeah.
That, yeah, so we'll see whether Pat's going to go for that.
Come on, Pat. You know you're gonna do it. Yep. Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's spinning it.
So he can take 1, and he's still going to be left on 3 power. So he's still got the ability to throw Asgard back in.
Mm.
They're just, yeah, using the push throw function on the rulers rather than the place function. So
That's
Travis
it
has
for
got
Wakanda.
out
Oh
of
wait.
card.
Oh, sure he can't use Wakanda forever. Oh no.
Yes, has not the power because of the way Travis did his rerolls.
Man, that was a good attempt. You, You just became orange?
Yeah, I just wanted to put Killmonger as KO'd for our viewers. So rather than ask them to do it, I just changed roles and did it myself.
Oh, great. Looks like Pat doesn't want to get shot by Shuri, I guess.
Seems good. Because Shuri can push both of them off that point, but if Thor
Yeah,
were to,
maybe he was thinking if I could put him right behind Killmonger, would I be able to block? Which kind of maybe might be true.
I think putting him to the left, as we look at it, of Panther is a better position for him because you can't push your own Panther. So you can
So,
have Killmonger and Thor both sitting
Shur
on there, and
Shuri could actually kill Thor. Don't want that to happen.
that's true. Maybe he's going to stay out of 5 and just
Yeah,
go. Killmonger's fine claiming that point. He's healthy. Panther's not, so he's claiming it over Panther. He might get pushed away, but keeping my Thor with the book feels like a better thing.
not a great
Mm,
roll. But, of course, he
not a
rolls a
great roll.
wild.
He's got the wild push. Yeah. Well, sorry, the wild throw. So no damage, but the wild throw is going to trigger off on Panther.
Hmm. I mean, making Panther move away when he's so low on
Yep.
power seems fine.
He looks like he's opted not to take that throw, though. He's just going to strike him again.
Really.
He didn't have a great second action if he did take the throw, and he's gambling on getting the wild, which he
You know
hasn't
what?
got.
Maybe this is fine too because we'll just have Killmonger kill Panther next turn.
Yeah, so we've got a reroll coming in.
So what ended up? We did 1 damage out of all that.
Yeah, 2 attacks, 1 damage. Those real good, guys.
I
Thor's so
mean,
dependent on dice.
this is what happens with Thor, right? He's just very dicey.
And a lot of his extra damage is off the wild throw, off his strike.
You're right.
So if he's choosing not to take it for perfectly valid reasons,
You
thinking,
know,
well, I'll throw another into him.
weirdly similar to Panther because Panther pushes people away when he wants to swing at them, right? And
Yeah,
if Thor wants to get 2 attacks in, he has to say no to one of those throws unless he's set it up right. And I mean, to be fair to Pat, he probably could have set that up right, but he doesn't want to get hit by Shuri.
yeah, he's making sure that Shuri doesn't have the opportunity to take out his Thor. So an interesting thing that it looks like Travis is looking at is moving Shuri up to contest, which you might say isn't that the same? That either they both score 1 or they both score 0 on that bottom side on the points. But given that this is a race to 16 and Pat is significantly ahead, then limiting your opponent and their scoring when they're ahead is often better than scoring equally with them. Okay, what's Travis measuring 3 for? Uh,
He's got no tactics cards left, so
yeah, I mean, the only tactics card Pat's got left is Rainbow Bridge,
maybe he's
which
thinking about a Rainbow Bridge.
maybe
I
he's
don't know.
misremembering Sonic Crush as range 3. I don't know.
I doubt he would misremember that.
Yeah, it hasn't got power for it anyway. It looks like they're going for a push on Thor. Maybe he's thinking
Oh,
outside range 3 plus a short move plus a base is going to put Thor out of 5. No blocks. Thor's going to take a damage.
yeah.
Get the
Push him into the car. I
and
don't
it's
think.
Killmonger.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Uh.
Sonic Crush and Killmonger.
Mm,
Where he gets 4 power from for a Sonic Crush.
I don't think it's Sonic Crush if he's attacking Killmonger.
Oh, it's a book. It's a book beam, isn't it? That's what it is.
Oh, was he beaming? Where's so the beam? Ah.
Yeah, beam into Killmonger. That's what it is. 6 dice energy. Yeah, that checks out. Nearly took him out as well.
Oh
Really close.
boy.
That
Sorry.
Asgardian heal in the round, keeping Killmonger in it.
I need chat just to be here to remind me every time a beam comes out.
And again, that's why he was measuring 3 to be sure, seeing if
Yeah.
they get Thor.
We knew it made no sense, we just didn't know why. So, I mean, I'm just loving Pat's position here, and I have no bias, believe me. Seeing Pat lose would make me super happy, but here we are.
So no sour grapes from season 2 then?
None at all. I do like seeing Pat's Thor roll badly. I wish that happened more often, but you know.
Okay, so Pat needs 4 points to win the game. He's got priority.
I mean, Killmonger's just gonna kill things. It's just happening.
I mean, I'd be tempted to more go with Angela. You're right, Killmonger can kill stuff for sure. But Angela can. If Angela takes out Valkyrie, I think Mystique's going to have a very hard time taking out Angela. Maybe she doesn't. She kind of equivalent 2 6 9 or 4. Quick head math. Maybe Angela's looking a bit precarious anyway. But
Thor's
Angela.
Thor's looking pretty weak too, though. So by activating Killmonger, you're also protecting Thor in theory.
I guess that's true. But Panthers, well, he's got 3 power, and he is within 2 of Thor, isn't he? So he can just mantle, strike, pounce. Yeah. Okay.
We also just saw a heal come out on Angela.
Yep. So he'll go on
Oh,
Angela.
we're doing
It looks
Angela.
like we'll go Angela into with a book beam by the looks of it.
Oh, the beam.
So a range 3 coming out. That's a great dice roll from Pat again. He's had some really wow, ooh, gosh. Yeah. 7 hits on 6. He's good.
Goodbye.
Yep. Whoever this was, this is that's
I
Valkyrie.
just erased Valkyrie. Well, yeah, just one.
So this is
That
really nice.
so that beam was terrible, but he's gonna trigger the "I killed someone, let me hit you again" thing,
He certainly is.
and then he's gonna throw a green truck, and that's probably Valkyrie's gone. So I apologize. I clearly Angela was the correct choice.
And he's paying for the Cosmic Assassin. He's considering running away here, which I can see, but I can also see throwing a truck at Mystique seems fun.
Can you run away? Is it directional? Let's see here. Immediately advance. No, it doesn't say anything about direction. You could advance in Rainbow Bridge and just be super cute, but it's hard not to keep attacking when there's a giant truck right there.
I know there's just like 5 free damage going on there.
Yeah.
Which could, if he rolls badly.
And he's getting another free attack. I mean, what is Pat getting away with here? This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks, basically?
Kind of with this activation. Depends how this one goes. It might only be 3.
Well, when your opponent's dead and you don't get as many attacks as you'd want.
Man, that sucks when you're counting blanks and all you roll is hits.
Yeah.
So, want to re-roll.
Oh,
there's a blank. There we go.
There we go.
So she's only going to take 1.
And now we're getting the truck.
So Pat's choosing not to place. That's fine. Or he's placing exactly where he is off the Zyphos attack.
Oh, no. He's going to dice first. I guess he figures, hey, maybe the dice will kill you.
Actually, if the shoots on his power. Maybe they will.
Oh, gosh. Pat, stop it. He's already dead. Yeah, she survives at 1, and then the truck is just game over, man.
Well, for her. Yeah, here comes the truck.
Yeah, we see a skull. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Brutal. I'm sure people that friends of Travis are like, hey, this is what he does to other people. It's not supposed to be happening to him.
Yeah. You hear, especially if you listen to much Strike Better, you hear a lot of talk about Travis's ridiculous dice. And then we got Rainbow Bridge to get Thor away kind of into relative safety and to threaten going and
possibly just run and score some more.
There's my 4 points. Those are my 4 points. I've got 2 books and 2 points. There's 4. If you run away, I've got Killmonger down the bottom, so Killmonger's going to get some stuff going on.
So
Yeah,
hear me out, but I was gonna make a silly argument that had he done the opposite of what he just did and went with Killmonger, it's somewhat the same. But this play here, this bridge is better than the other bridge we were talking about, right? Because there's no
yeah.
charging Valkyrie with a lot of power. So yeah, this is just way better. Also, I'm learning that the spell book's really good on Angela because she floods on power anyway, and you can trigger the I killed someone off of it, which is pretty great.
I'll mix stuff then. Okay, so Travis is looking at his options. He's out of pounce range to get 2 attacks on Thor. Uh, so he's just going, right, well, I just need 2 damage. So I'll move up. I'll probably pay for Mantle. Tough call here. I think I'd pay for Mantle. He's paying 3. He's going, no, 2. There we go. So paying for Mantle. Can do a 5 dice. Right into him. That's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
Into no blocks. So
Thor's
yeah, I
done.
think it's a dazed Thor. So that means Pat might struggle to close the game out this round.
You said he needs
Killmonger
4,
says,
right? Killmonger just
yeah,
kills Shuri.
that doesn't get him another point though. He's only going to get 3.
Shuri's holding a book.
He's holding a book. There we go. Yep.
So this game's
Panthers
going to be
are,
decided on a roll right here.
yeah. That's Panther gone. Just going to switch to orange so we can update.
All tactics cards are used. You like to see it. Is that you again? Updating deaths?
Yeah. Yep. Just so our viewers can see exactly what's going on with the game state. But yeah,
So,
Travis is down to 3 characters.
also super awkward that Travis will still not have priority.
Uh,
Well, because if Shuri dies, then the game ends, and if Shuri lives, you don't have priority.
yep. And Shuri is not that tanky. Killmonger's got a bunch of power, and he's got 2 rerolls baked in from his kill count. He's going to get a 7 dice with reroll 2 physical, and then another 9 dice with reroll 2 physical. It's unlikely that Shuri lives through that.
Yeah, it's too many dice. I've seen weird things though.
We're getting Asgardian heal on Killmonger.
Why not, right?
And here is
All right, it's the dice off, everyone.
7
For the
dice
game.
with 2 rerolls. Into 3 with 1 with 1 Wakandan leadership. Here's the 2 kill count rerolls.
Oh.
5 hits, 1 block. So Shuri's got 1 health left at the minute. Condon reroll might save for another one. Nope, she's only got 1 left. She's going to be staggered as well. Not that that's a big deal. And Killmonger is going to have a 9 dice Black Ops strike.
I think you just, yeah, you just do the strike again, right?
Yeah, extra dice.
1 block. I mean, best she gets 2, so we only need 3 hits. Did he forget to add dice, or
It
doesn't matter?
doesn't add 2 extra dice. Who needs those extra dice? I don't need them.
Nope. GG there. We have Pat taking it unless something. I mean, it's like almost impossible for Pat to lose because he just has to stand there and he wins. So.
Yep, he's got the game now. So we'll probably see them update the scores.
There it is.
Give them,
Well,
give them a minute. I
congratulations.
quite like. Yeah, we got Ron. Always likes to give them a minute, just do a little bit of their debrief. I think that's a classy move, and I think we should mirror it.
Yeah, let him
But
chat for a minute.
yeah,
Um, anything just as an overview? Anything that caught our eye? Anything really interesting? A lot of people felt Wakanda was favored, but
I think Angela in this crisis was huge, and Pat managed to get Angela. Took her first pick, and his first ban was to get rid of Angela. So I think Pat read the crisis. Maybe Travis read the crisis just as well as Pat, but felt that he had to first pick Panther just so he got his leadership, which is kind of key to the way Wakanda runs and the way particularly he runs it. Just giving that consistency. But I think when I saw Pat with an Angela and Travis about, we talked a lot early game about that round one and how it affects it, and that shaped the whole shape of the game. The
uh,
fact that Pat was then in the driving seat, he was narrower, so he then got priority as well. So he got all the advantages of priority without actually winning it, just through the choice of picks that they had.
I think what I learned is that I should have put Thor in my roster. I thought that just A
Yeah.
Force and Wakanda were good enough, and that Medusa's really good, Enchantress is really good, but probably Angela needs more attention, and having that option to run Asgard is pretty great.
Mm. Right, should we hop over to the other Discord?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mistake like 2 rounds and a lot of dice to finally get Valkyrie down.
Yeah, Mystique was awesome. Being able
Yeah.
to avoid Odin's is really good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll go with her. I was going to run down and go. I can't remember where I was going to go. I think I was going to go Okoye over Mystique, I think. But then I thought, nah, I'll go this way. I was going to go heavily into the Wakandans, but I think Mystique was better in the end. Not that she did much.
Well, she was fine, right? She
Yeah.
actually was pretty well set up on that flank. She was just it was 6 threat versus 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Pat. Commiserations, Travis. How do you guys feel that game went? Let's start, Pat. Do you want to start with the drafting process?
I think the drafting process was interesting. I'm not sure if picking Angela first was correct for my part, but I was really concerned when I got the extract I did, Montesi formula, which it was that all cubes, and I thought I really need to have some way to get an advantage here because with Infinity formula as well, it can be quite a keep away crises. And then after that, I was going to have 3 good Asgardians, and then I was just going to fill it up with whoever Travis let me have, which ended up being Valkyrie and Killmonger as my kind of flexible slots, and I was perfectly happy with my team. One thing that came up at the end of the draft, which made me think, was I could have played X-Men. I had Storm, Beast, Taskmaster, which is my 3 X-Men, and then I could have run quite a lot of good combinations, like, for example, Angela and Valkyrie, and had a really strong X-Men team. But I picked Asgard because I knew that Travis would go 5 wide, and I thought I could probably murder somebody with Killmonger and not cede priority.
I really liked your first pick, Angela. I thought it put you in a really strong position, and first ban of Travis's Angela, so that you kind of got that advantage of priority without actually having priority. And the fact you were then going 4 wide to where you were pretty certain he was going 5 wide meant that you got priority at the beginning of round 2. So you got a lot of the benefits of priority without actually having won it. So I thought that played well for you.
Yeah,
Travis, do you want to talk a bit about? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Pat.
No, I just agree. I think it worked out quite well.
Travis, do you want to talk about your draft and what your thought process was? Maybe some of your picks and your bands that you did.
Yeah, I was happy with my picks. It's obviously pretty like my first pick's always going to be Panther, but I'm pretty happy with floating, whichever Wakandans are sort of given to me to use. So I don't mind using like Storm over Shuri. I kind of expected maybe Shuri to get banned earlier, but yeah, it would have been nice if Pat did really well to ban my 5 threats, which sort of limited my Wakanda like 17 roster a little bit. But I sort of pivoted to something a little different, so I was happy with um, my picks. And then band wise, I sort of just tried to. I sort of figured he was going to go Asgard, so I just tried to limit his ability to go 5 wide as much as possible. So I just started picking up banning as many of the 2 pointers as I could. So yeah, I was happy, man.
What wasn't he taking out your 4s first, and then he kind of swung over to 5s?
So
think it
I
was.
took out Modoc, Enchantress, and Medusa as my first picks, which was a combination of 3 of the very best characters in the game that I didn't want to play against, and it limited all of his expensive characters in one go. So at that point, he kind of.
And my Angela in the first one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it was good for threat value and for power. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so he did really well. So I had to make a decision between affiliation and rocking one of the big hitters, and I didn't really feel like Modoc would really probably do a lot for me on this map, so I'd rather affiliation.
Do you feel, Travis, now that you've played through a few and got a bit more experience with battle realms, do you still feel that a single affiliation roster is viable?
Yeah. With the deeper affiliations, it definitely is. It's pretty easy to get affiliation. You know, you don't get your best 2 picks, but you know, like you get, you know, as good as you can. It's easy to get affiliation. You know, I'm still enjoying playing the faction I want to play, so yeah, I'd be happy to run single affiliation. For me, it's easier, right? I don't have to. I think I'm running 2 affiliations in our casual.
Yeah, you've got
a casual league that's going, and I don't enjoy it as much, to be honest. So for me, it's easier just running single. I can just go, yep, cool, that's what I'm doing. They can't stop me from getting the affiliation, and then you throw in enough big hitters in there like Angela and Modoc and Medusa and that, and they sort of have to make a decision about, you know, banning one of those big hitters or trying to stop me from getting like my best affiliation roster. So yeah, I'll be happy to run single, Phil.
Do you guys have any thoughts on like maybe if you had a do-over on this exact game, any changes or characters placed in different ways, attacks made that maybe shouldn't have been made or anything?
So
So
wouldn't play post night shift maybe.
yeah, the timing is really bad. Really bad. It's quite unfortunate with Travis's work. But one of the things we were joking about at the start is I had a brain fart. I saw Mystique, and I just assumed that Travis had taken Deception, and he hadn't. So all of my deployment on turn 1 was all carefully designed so that I could make opening moves and avoid Deception, and that was all completely unnecessary. So I had Valkyrie, for example, up on this container so that Angela could swoop in, contest the serum canister, and be within 2 of Valkyrie. And I had Killmonger here so that Thor could get this book, come up to this canister and be within 2 of Killmonger. And all of that was pointless. So I could have had much more flexible Valkyrie and Killmonger positions. And that meant that Killmonger wasted an action because there's nothing else he could do. He could have perhaps picked up the book instead of Thor, or Valkyrie could have picked up the central book if I hadn't played around that card my opponent didn't have.
Wow.
So you started moving, and then I was like, whatever, you're just doing whatever you're doing, and then you started measuring 2, and I was like,
I noticed your hand shaking over his tactics cards, and I was like, and this is the point Pat realizes there's no deception. That was great.
I think
yeah.
Pat played really well. I played very poorly with probably most of my decision making with a little bit of brain fog after a couple of hours of sleep. So it wasn't my best game. So I probably regret the whole thing. So,
I don't think you played poorly at all.
There's only one
stuff. A lot of silly,
There's
just
only-
little power expenditures I didn't need to do, or you know, like either just placement, my turn 1 placement, and then probably like spending the brace rather than saving it for Panther when I knew I was going to throw Panther forward. So it was silly.
Yeah, that brace was tough.
Yeah, the brace, I was looking at it going, well, like he's either going to wipe that flank and I'll probably lose a game because he's got 2 books, or he's got a book and 2 canisters there that I can't really, and he had priority, so he's probably just going to smash them off the table. But I thought I'll give him a decision process by jamming Panther up there. And, you know, maybe he's got to choose between. I've offered him Panther, but I felt pretty happy to take on Killmonger and whichever one activated out of Killmonger and Thor. But yeah, I was happier if I had a brace for impact stapled to the front of that truck. But again, post night shift fatigue, I wasn't thinking 1 turn in advance. I even talked about it to Pat and then just went, no, I'll just spend it here. And then just died.
There's the other thing I'm sure Jacob was about to say was when you activated Panther after Valkyrie in turn 1. So
Yeah.
then your Valkyrie got kind of pummeled a little bit when she probably shouldn't have even been there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Because
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because
I was
Panther
holding off.
would have moved
I knew I
into.
was going to jam Panther forward, so I was like wanted to hold off till probably later, but I probably didn't need to activate. I could have activated him right because he'd already activated.
Right, both his characters were just standing there, so you could have easily just done
Yeah,
that, and then his Valk would have had to make a harder decision. But
yeah.
yeah,
Again,
but like you
that's
said, just fatigue, right?
yeah, yeah. It was brutal, and a lot of my stuff was in hindsight. I was sitting there going, "Yep, shouldn't have done that. Yep, should have done that instead." And yeah, I just felt bad for Pat. I probably could have given him a more of a sporting game than just sitting here while he smashed my figurines off the table.
So I think I was pretty lucky to smash so many of the models off the table, right? I had some very, very big spikes at some key moments. And
Mm.
I was
Yeah,
especially worried when your Killmonger charged my Killmonger. That could have been a big swing point. And I was lucky to have mine survive and then go on a killing spree himself.
yeah,
And I think if those dice don't flip and flop in that way, then things are going to be much, much closer. You could have quite easily swung the victory points back in your favor in turn 2, and we could have had a situation where you're winning on one flank and I'm winning on the other. But I think I got lucky to basically have both flanks go my way when easily either one of them or indeed both of them could have gone the other.
yeah. I felt pretty confident to take this flank out with like Killmonger against Thor because obviously Killmonger like eats up Thor, and then I thought Panther would probably do pretty well into either of them, and then Shuri re-rolls backing. So I felt pretty confident to roll that flank and sit there with two formulas, and it just did not work that way.
Yeah, I
just
had
couldn't
an.
get the, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, you just couldn't quite get the dice to work in your favor, even the rerolls. It was unfortunate. You were outnumbered by a character and 2 threat, and I still
Yeah.
managed to break even on that side. I was thinking in the first turn, moving Thor, picking up the book and going to the right, and just taking 4 of the 7 points on the table with 3 of my characters. In the end, I didn't go for it, but I think that was probably a valid play that I should have considered. I was just worried about you moving Black Panther onto this side, so neutralizing my VP lead. If you want, you can use Wakanda Forever, but you probably didn't bother. But we're then in a situation where the VPs are even, and I've got more characters on this side, but if it ever goes wrong for me, then it all just falls apart. So I didn't go for it, but I think it's a valid play that you could make, and it would have changed the game completely with that turn 1 decision.
I think we saw you thinking that. We talked about that as an option, but I think you're right. You could have played it either way, and it does change the shape of the game a lot. But I think probably you make the right decision, given that you were going to retain priority and therefore could push your advantage wherever you wanted to.
Yeah. I think probably what happens at that point is Travis moves his Black Panther to counter, and then I'm feeling really silly because Shuri and Killmonger smash Killmonger and then score 3 points forever, and the other side is too close, so I'm not going to reliably score 4 every round.
That was my thought process. I was like, I don't think you're going to commit like everything to that side because I got all the long movers that I can get over there if I need to, and pretty tanky long movers with the martial artist and the vibranium armor as well.
Oh, Black Panther is so good into Asgard. Good. I really like your team into me, actually. I think your team is excellent. Killmonger, great for taking on the 5 threat characters, and really resilient or good control characters for my team.
I love Mystique to stop the Odin's Blessing and pick the character you want to go down and then apply force, and then didn't work. I think I got caught out with that cover from the fountain.
Yeah, we were saying that cover, if that wasn't there, then Valkyrie would have gone down. She gained like 3 extra health off that, and she lived on like 1 or 2 damage left. So
well, she got a 1 on every attack, so I got the 4 attacks around. So she saved 4 health from it.
Yeah, so good into rapid fire, very strong.
Yeah. In general, cover's like quietly one of the most powerful things that happens in this game. I mean, it's just like auto evade is just really strong.
It definitely does add up.
The beam use by Angela was also insane. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you had 5. I don't know if you. No, you did, right? In that last activation, Angela attacked 5 times.
Yeah, So she
Four.
beamed to hit Valkyrie and Mystique.
Right.
Killed Valkyrie. She used Angelic Assassin, advanced, hit Mystique, placed, hit her again.
Yeah,
placed,
that's 5
and-
attacks,
And then threw a size 5 truck.
which is 5.
So she did, 6 dice attacks and a throw and 3 movements.
I mean, I would count a giant size 4 truck as a pretty solid attack. I don't know if you want to agree with me on that, but
Yeah, I'd say so.
yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah,
I mean,
Angela with the beam is pretty cool.
yeah, and evading, of dodging martial artists, was also like really big for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Didn't matter.
Casting.
Like 6 blanks on the beam on her, and then applied all your hits into one roll, just one shot Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then
some of Pat's dice were pretty hot at the right times, and Trav felt like yours weren't just going your way a little bit today. Part of what went into this, I think.
That's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
I was probably average over the whole game, to be honest, and Pat was probably similar, but yeah, I think he just had a couple big spike rolls that really put me on the back foot.
I don't know. I think Pat definitely had a few more well-timed lucky rolls, and you had like all hits on defensive dice, especially like Panthers block on the truck in turn 1 or 2 or whatever. That was brutal to watch. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I think you had a 4 skull attack turn with like full rerolls. That was also hard to watch.
Yep. I was muting myself.
So, all right.
That's a good game. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks so much.
Just casting forward, Pat, looking at the final versus Morgan. Have you got any thoughts on that matchup or on that old rivalry?
A grudge match. Yeah, I like his roster. I like what he's done with kind of like a very diverse setup and a lot of the villains who are really powerful characters that are a bit underplayed in this Invitational, I think. He's got a slightly more unique roster than a lot of us, and I think it's really good. I'm not sure what he'll pick. I think it might depend a bit on the crisis, a bit on the map, but I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Yeah, no doubt. So if you guys watching are interested in watching that game, then as soon as it gets scheduled between Pat and Morgan, I'll be publicising when that's available, and we'll find a streamer. I just wanted to shout out as well, thanks to Wargaming Dad for being table judge. I'm not sure how much he had to do, but it's always useful to have a third party looking in. So thank you very much for your time, Darren.
No worries. Yeah, I didn't really have to do a lot.
Yeah, you were a spectator, mate.
Yeah.
No, you jumped in a lot.
Best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't. This is definitely one of those games where I didn't see anyone like kind of making mistakes or stumbling at all. It was very clean.
Yeah, it was. A couple of little powers here and there and a couple of tokens, but that's it. Nothing major at all.
Yeah.
Nice. Always good when we can manage that.
Cheers for streaming, guys, and cheers for running the tournament, Xavier.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and thanks for playing in it, both of you.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's just one more top 4 for Travis. He just loves top 4s.
Apparently it's alright, sort of peak.
Well,
I got a top 2 once. No, I take it back.
The only concern I've got for Pat is every single game has gone to the higher seed so far in this tournament. So I think I'm rooting for my algorithm. I'm rooting for Morgan in the final.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be a great game. So thank you guys very much.
Cheers, everyone.
Later, guys. All right, that's the end of the stream. Thanks everyone for watching. It was fun. Thank you.